What if I told you that some of the money disappearing from your bank account isn't going toward things you actually need? It's going toward something that feels harmless. Convenience. A few dollars for delivery. A little extra for faster shipping. A service fee you barely notice. A subscription you forgot about. A meal you could have picked up yourself. Each charge feels too small to worry about. But here's the problem. Small fees don't stay small when you repeat them. And in America today, convenience has become a major part of everyday spending. So the real question isn't, why are Americans spending so much? It's, how much are we paying just to save a few minutes? Think about the last time you ordered food. You see a burger for $15. You think, that's fine. Then you add delivery. A service fee appears. Maybe the restaurant's online price is higher. Then there's a tip. And suddenly that $15 meal isn't $15 anymore. The surprising part? You probably didn't make one huge financial mistake. You made several tiny decisions that each felt reasonable. And that's exactly what makes the convenience tax so powerful. In 2026, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission began looking closely at fees and pricing practices used by online food and grocery delivery platforms. And the FTC wasn't just concerned about one simple delivery fee. It raised questions about something much bigger. Are consumers clearly seeing the real total price before they buy? The FTC cited research finding that some online food delivery orders can cost nearly 80% more than picking up the same order directly from the restaurant. For grocery delivery, cited research found total cost could be 30 to 50% higher than shopping in-store. And sometimes the higher price isn't even sitting in the fee section. The food itself may cost more inside the app, so you might think you're paying $15 for dinner plus a few dollars for delivery. But the real equation can be much closer to higher menu price, plus delivery fee, plus service fee, plus tip, plus convenience. And because each part is separated, the final number doesn't always feel like one big expense. That's the first problem. We don't always feel the full price while we're making the decision. Now let's make this personal. Imagine you pay an extra $4 for delivery, $3 for a service fee, $5 for faster shipping, $10 for a convenience upgrade. None of those numbers sounds terrifying, but suppose you make similar choices several times a week. That's when the math changes. A $5 convenience charge 3 times a week is $780 a year. That's not a small fee anymore. That's a real expense. And you may not even remember what you got for it 6 months later. This is why the convenience tax is different from a normal purchase. You're often not buying a product. You're buying time, and time feels priceless. So why do intelligent people keep paying it? Because convenience solves a real problem. You're tired, you're busy, it's raining, you're working late, you don't want to drive, you don't want to cook, you don't want to stand in line. So you tell yourself it's only a few dollars. And honestly, sometimes it is worth it. That's important. This video isn't telling you to stop using delivery services. For some people, delivery can be genuinely valuable. For people with limited transportation or mobility, it can be far more than a luxury. The problem begins when convenience changes from a deliberate choice into a default habit. That's when you stop asking, is this worth the money? And start automatically clicking order. And convenience doesn't stop at delivery. There's another version that is even harder to notice: subscriptions. You sign up because it's useful. $9.99 a month, $12.99, $15. You think, I'll use it. Maybe you do. For a while. Then life gets busy. You stop using it. But the charge keeps coming. Recent reporting and consumer protection actions in the United States show that subscription cancellation and unclear recurring charges remain a serious consumer issue. And in 2026, subscription cancellations, automatic renewals, and difficult cancellation processes continued to attract consumer protection attention. So again, the issue isn't simply that subscriptions are bad. The issue is this: are you still choosing to pay for the convenience? Or did you choose it 6 months ago and simply forget? And here's what I think is the biggest mistake people make. They try to eliminate everything. They say, no more delivery, no more subscriptions, no more online shopping, no more convenience. That sounds disciplined, but it usually doesn't last, because convenience exists for a reason. The better strategy is not to remove all convenience. It's to pay for the convenience that actually gives you value, and stop paying for convenience that has become automatic. So here's a simple system you can try this week. Call it your 30-day convenience audit. First, look backward. Open your last 30 days of bank and credit card transactions. Don't look for groceries. Don't look for rent. Look specifically for things you paid extra for because they were easier, faster, or more convenient. Delivery, express shipping, subscriptions, convenience fees, impulse orders, small upgrades. Second, circle the repeat charges. One $5 charge isn't the problem. The repeated $5 charge is. Ask yourself, how many times did I pay for this? That's where the real number appears. Third, calculate the yearly cost. Take a weekly expense and multiply it by 52. Take a monthly expense and multiply it by 12. Suddenly, it's only $10 becomes, I'm paying $520 every year. And now you can make an informed decision. Fourth, give every convenience purchase one of 3 labels. Worth it, saves real time, or habit. Keep the first 2. Question the third, because the goal isn't to become miserable just to save money. The goal is to stop paying for things you don't actually value. And fifth, add friction. This is the trick most people ignore. If ordering something takes 1 click, you'll do it more often. So make unnecessary spending slightly harder. Remove saved payment information from shopping sites. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Cancel unused subscriptions. Wait 24 hours before non-essential purchases. And before ordering delivery, ask one simple question. Would I still buy this if I had to pay the full price right now? Not the $15 menu price, not the free delivery badge. The final total. The convenience tax isn't really about DoorDash. It isn't about subscriptions. It isn't about Amazon. And it isn't about Americans being bad with money. It's about something much more human. We are willing to pay money to make life easier. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when we stop deciding what convenience is worth, and companies, habits, and tiny recurring charges start deciding for us. So tonight, don't cancel everything. Just open your bank statement, find one convenience you forgot you were paying for, then calculate what it costs you over an entire year. Because the question isn't, can I afford this $5? The better question is, how much is this $5 costing me over time? And once you start looking at your spending that way, you may discover that the biggest leak in your budget isn't one huge purchase. It's hundreds of tiny decisions you barely remember making. That is the convenience tax. If you want more videos exposing the hidden costs behind everyday American life, subscribe to Momi and Mummy Truths. Because sometimes the most expensive things are the ones that don't look expensive at all.